The Ku Klux Klan, or KK, was founded as a hate group in the USA. Although the group was most active during the 1920s, there have been some heinous crimes committed by members recently. In this video, we look at 3 KKK members who were sentenced to life in prison and how they reacted to their sentences: Sean Berry, Lawrence Brewer, and John King. In 1998, these 3 men ended the life of James Byrd Jr. in Jasper, Texas. The 3 men offered to give James a ride, but instead of taking him home, the men took him to a remote road. They then assaulted James and dragged him behind a Ford pickup truck for 3 miles. Sadly, James would later pass away from the injuries. The men then left James's body in front of a black church. James was found the next morning. There were no surveillance cameras or any witnesses, so how were these evil men uncaught? Well, it was basically down to their own stupidity. At the site of the killing, police found a wrench with the word Berry written on it, obviously belonging to Sean Berry. Police also found a lighter with the word Possum on it. Possum was John King's prison nickname. Lawrence Brewer and John King were well-known white supremacists, making it very obvious this was a hate crime. King even had several very hateful tattoos on his body, including the logo of a hate group named the Confederate Knights of America. A judge found Sean, Lawrence, and John all guilty of James's murder. In 2011, Lawrence Brewer was executed by injection, and in 2019, John King met the same fate. Sean Berry was sentenced to life in prison but could be out as early as 2038. Edgar Ray Killen. Edgar Ray Killen was a prominent KKK member. In 1964, he took part in the murder of 3 people: Andrew Goodman, Michael Schwerner, and James Chaney. The 3 victims were civil rights activists and were participating in the Freedom Summer of 1964. This was a big civil rights protest in Mississippi. The 3 men had just visited the victims of the burning of a black church. But that's when a KKK member who worked for the police arrested the men. The police accused them of speeding, but there was no proof. After the men were released from jail, their car was tailed by the KKK, who then forced it off the road and shot all 3 activists inside, sadly ending their lives. The men were found 44 days later buried in a dam. Shockingly, at the time, the state of Mississippi refused to prosecute any of the men responsible. In 1967, however, 18 men were arrested for the incident. This included the KKK leader Sam Bowers, as well as the sheriff, and Edgar Ray Killen. Most of the men involved were sent to prison except Edgar Ray Killen. He somehow got away with a crime, or so he thought. Many years later, a reporter named Jerry Mitchell was investigating the incident. He found new witnesses and found new evidence that Edgar Ray Killen was involved, including the fact that he planned these killings. In 2005, at age 80, Killen was arrested once again. The case went to court and he was found guilty of the crimes and was sentenced to 60 years in prison. Given that he was 80 at the time, this of course meant a life sentence. Edgar Ray Killen passed away in 2018 while behind bars. It's a shame justice was only served 40 years after the crime, but although late, at least justice was served. Kayla Norton and Jose Torres. Kayla and Jose were both members of a hate group named Respect the Flag. They were sentenced for an evil attack on an 8-year-old boy's birthday party in Georgia. They said various racial obscenities and also threatened to use firearms and waved Confederate flags, all while drinking heavily. This took place in July 2015, only 1 month after someone ended 9 lives in a black church. Kayla and Jose also threatened various black drivers. A judge later declared Respect the Flag as a street gang. In the courtroom, Kayla Norton cried and apologized to the victims' families. Jose Torres was also seen crying. Jose Torres was sentenced to 13 years in prison while Kayla Norton was given 6 years for her part. They were also both banned from entering Douglas County ever again. Which criminal among these was the worst? Let us know in the comments below. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next one.